while the rest of the world is looking for more ways to accord love, respect, and dignity to the elderly, disabled, and feeble members of society, some Sikhs have decided to violently destroy, rip out, and then burn chairs and benches that Gurdwaras have put in place for members of the sangat who are unable to sit cross-legged on the floor. 2 accounts of such ruckus have come to light within this month alone. The first event was at Gurdwara Biharipur, Kapurthala, on December 9, and the second at Gurdwara Singh Sabha, Model Town, Jalandhar, 3 days later. In both Gurdwaras, a group of heavily armed Sikhs ripped out the chairs, tore the cushions with a vengeance, and took the furniture outside. They then poured fuel on the pile of destructed furniture and set it on fire. In one of the Gurdwaras, such ruckus was created within an ongoing divan. As always, when Sikhs decide to make a spectacle of themselves through destructive acts, they are often led by leaders who have their own agendas. This time around, their leader is someone who parachuted into Punjab from Dubai in March of this year. Amartpal Singh is a scion of a trucking family in Dubai. He had a born-again moment upon returning to Punjab to take over the radical political party named Waris Punjab De, in English, the Heirs of Punjab. This party was founded by actor Deep Sidhu, who was involved in the ill-fated raising of flags on the Red Fort during the farmers' movement to repeal the farm laws that were introduced by the Modi administration in India. Deep Sidhu was killed in a car accident in February, after which Waris Punjab De declared Amartpal Singh as the leader of that political party. His second in command is Virender Singh, previously named Sham Gujar, an ex-drug addict, an ex-fugitive, an ex-Hindu who Amartpal Singh baptized in his dera at Jallupur Kheda, Amritsar. Upon Amartpal Singh's return from Dubai, Harnam Singh Tumma bestowed a turban of honor upon him. The Tumma group is infamous for violent controversies of its own, such as setting up a Shabil as a pretext for a murderous attack on another Pracharak. The Haryana Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee under the Haryana government became the first organization to declare its support of him. Amartpal Singh has been quick to assemble a group of heavily armed people to go from village to village in a vahir or convoy. He has said that his objectives are, firstly, Karavapsi campaign or a return home campaign, where he intends to bring back into the Sikhi fold Sikhs who have left Sikhism for other religions, in particular Christianity. His second objective is to free Sikhs from the menace of drug addiction. And third, he wants to administer large-scale baptism of Sikhs. He named his convoy the Khalsa Vahir, March of the Khalsa, and has embarked on a mission to make his presence felt in the villages across Punjab. He does so by moving around with his group of heavily armed people. It is during such moving around that the ruckus of destroying, and then burning chairs and benches that they had violently ripped out from within the two Gurdwaras took place. Amritpal Singh and persons from his convoy have provided a host of justifications for such conduct. We know that cultured and civilized societies accept no justification for any kind of violent destruction of property. We also know that Sikhi does not condone the ripping out, destructing, destroying, and burning of property belonging to the sangat, and that too in the presence of the Guru. Even then, an examination of these justifications becomes necessary, given that a majority of Gurdwaras in and out of Punjab have placed seats, chairs, benches, or sofas for Gurdwara attending Sikhs who are, for some reason or other, unable to sit cross-legged on the floor. The first justification is based on the stipulation of the Sikh Rehat Maryada. The relevant rule is as follows. ਕਿਸੇ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਦਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਸਮੇਂ ਜਾਂ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਦੇਲਾ, ਆਸਣ, ਕੁਰਸੀ, ਚੌਂਕੀ, ਮੰਜਾ ਆਦਿ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਬੈਠਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਵਿਤਕਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠਣਾ ਮਨਮਤ ਹੈ. Translation: It is wrong for any person in the presence of the Sadguru within the Sangat to sit on a cushion, distinctive seat, chair, stool, bed, or to sit with any other form of discrimination. The key word, the operative word here is vitkara or discrimination. There should be no discrimination within the Sangat. This is important because equality is a principle of Gurmat and Gurbani. Now the question is this: is making it possible for elderly Sikhs, disabled Sikhs, Sikhs with health issues such as knee pain, etc., is making it possible for such Sikhs amongst us to attend and participate in Gurdwara an act of discrimination? Now, it would be discrimination if some young, healthy, and able-bodied Sikhs were given the privilege to sit on chairs while other young, healthy, and able-bodied Sikhs were required to sit on the floor. But it is elderly Sikhs, disabled Sikhs, Sikhs with health issues that we are talking about. Do we seriously think that elderly, disabled, or people with health issues are discriminating against those who are normal by being allowed a chair or a seat to sit on? Do we seriously think that facilitating the presence of the elderly or disabled is an act of discrimination? One must live in a stone-hearted and cold world within one's dead conscience to hold on to such a narrow-minded, outdated, and harsh position. In the name of common decency, preferred seating is provided for pregnant women and the disabled in public transport systems worldwide, and no one treats that as an act of discrimination over the regular, fare-paying, healthy passengers. In fact, in the name of decency, many able persons actually stand up to give their seats to such disabled persons out of sheer courtesy and human kindness. And here we are, as Sikhs, screaming Sarbat Da Pala on top of our voices, but unable to practice human decency at its base level. Is the practice of kindness towards our own elderly and disabled outside the parameters of Sarbat Da Pala? The second justification by Amritpal Singh and persons from his convoy is based on the notion that sitting on chairs, benches, or sofas amounts to a challenge to the authority of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. To support this view, the same stipulation of the Sikh Rehat Maryada, the one I talked of above, is quoted. A challenge to the authority of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is committed by a person who intends to usurp the legitimate position of the Guru. Such, for instance, was attempted by Khem Singh Bedi, who claimed to be a direct descendant of Guru Nanak and who insisted on being seated in front next to the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and at the same level as the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji on a cushion complete with a backrest. Such is also done by countless Sards and sons in Deras today who sit on higher pedestals where the sangat bows to their feet in the presence of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. To compare disabled or elderly persons with such impostors is wrong. Khem Singh Bedi was stopped by the Singh Sabha movement whose leader, Professor Gurmukh Singh, was subsequently excommunicated from the Sikh Panth, presumably because he upset those in authority. What we have are common members of the Sangat who are allocated common benches attached to the side walls or the back walls of Darbar halls and who seat themselves there due to health and physical disabilities. How could this motley, ordinary common group of unrelated persons be declared as challenging the authority and sanctity of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji? I am sure this group would jump at the opportunity to join the regular cross-legged Sangat if cured of their disability. In the name of common decency, preferred seating is also provided for pregnant women and the disabled in public transport systems worldwide, and no one treats this as an attempt to challenge the authority of anyone or anything. One point about the Sikh Rehat Maryada stipulation must be made before I move on. The one we talked about above. ਕਿਸੇ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਦਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਸਮੇਂ ਜਾਂ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਦੈਲਾ, ਆਸਣ, ਕੁਰਸੀ, ਮੰਜਾ ਆਦਿ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਬੈਠਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਵਿਤਕਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠਣਾ ਮਨਮਤ ਹੈ. The correct translation is, it is wrong for any person in the presence of the Sadguru within the Sangat to sit on a cushion, distinctive seat, chair, stool, bed, or to sit with any other form of discrimination. The key word again is vitkara or discrimination. Here is the English translation of the same stipulation as provided by the Dharm Prachar Committee of the SGPC. Sitting on a cushion, a distinctive seat, a chair, a stool, a cot, etc., or in any distinctive position in the presence of the Guru Granth or within the congregation is contrary to Gurmat. Notice that the word discrimination has been omitted. Either the translators at the Dharm Prachar Committee of SGPC could not find a dictionary to translate vitkara as discrimination, or it was an omission, or they had an agenda, which was to simply ban all chairs and all benches in all situations. Because when you remove the word vitkara or discrimination, then chairs and benches in a Gurdwara become manmat in all and every condition, which is not the intent of the Sikh Rehat Maryada's stipulation. Now I bring this up because there will be people who will be in support of the actions of Amartapal Singh and his people, and they will be quoting this wrongly translated stipulation of the Sikh Rehat Maryada to you. In any case, the Punjabi version should be referred to if we intend to understand the true intent of any particular stipulation within the SRM. The third reasoning of the Wahir was that these elderly folks were being seated higher than the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and higher than the other Sangat, when the only higher entity should be the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. You see, Pyareo, Guru Arjan Ji constructed the Darbar Sahib at Amritsar, and there is a gallery on the first floor overlooking the Darbar where the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is installed at the ground floor level. That is, at the same level as all the seated Sangat and the Kirtaniyas. This gallery actually had people seated, people walking, people standing, and looking in the downward direction of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and the Sangat seated below. There are other Gurdwaras with similar designs. This is a pic of Gurdwara Ganj in Delhi. It too has a gallery at the first floor overlooking the Darbar where Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is installed at the ground level. Are not all those in the gallery actually higher than the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and Sangat below? If Guru Arjan Ji had no objections to Sikhs sitting one gallery above, one floor above, what is the objection of elderly or disabled Sikhs sitting one chair or one bench above? Something needs to be said to the mostly young Sikhs who are part of this convoy going around violently destroying, ripping out, and then burning chairs and benches from Gurdwaras. The Sikh world is asking, where is your sense of decency? Where is your sense of honor and respect for the elderly, the disabled, some of whom may be your own parents? Where is your sense of compassion for Sikhs who want to be present in the Gurdwara despite their advanced age and disabilities? If all Gurdwaras agree to remove all such seating arrangements, will you, Naujwans of the Wahir, come to the Gurdwaras and help lift, carry, and accompany these elderly and disabled Sikhs from their cars to the Diwan? Seat them down and then sit with them? Do you have what it takes to do such? Or is violently destroying, ripping out, and then burning chairs and benches your only contribution to the community? When Sikh Raj was established in Punjab, a group of young Sikhs went to the Maharaja and asked him to order a ban on the Muslim azan, the early morning call for prayer. When asked why, the Sikhs responded that the loud call was disrespectful to the authority of our Gurus. It challenged the authority of our Gurus. The Maharaja's response is worth noting. He said, if the young Sikhs are willing to go from Muslim house to Muslim house in every village and every town in the early morning, every morning, and get their Muslim inhabitants to wake up to perform the namaz, then there would be no need for the loud prayer call. But these Sikhs were people who were deep in the slumber of their own ignorance. How were they going to awaken others? From the videos of the violence, it does not appear that the youth within the Wahir are capable of empathy or sympathy. Do remember that a day will come when you will be old and disabled with age-related issues. Then you will not have the brute strength you now have to violently destroy, rip out, and then burn chairs and benches. You will actually need the same seats just to be able to attend a Gurdwara. Here, is one member of the Wahir saying, if an elderly or disabled person can walk to a Gurdwara or come to a Gurdwara, he should be able to stand. Meaning, the disabled and elderly do not have to sit.
ਕੋਈ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਵਾ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਜੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਗੋਡੇ ਦੁਖਦੇ ਜੇ ਉਹ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਖਲੋ ਵੀ ਸਕਦਾ ਖਲੋ ਜਵੇ ਉੱਥੇ
Where has decency, sympathy and empathy gone for such people? In the meantime, what you have done to the image of Sikhs and Sikhi is to make both into a laughing stock, while the rest of the world is looking for more ways to accord love, respect and dignity to our elderly, disabled and feeble members of our society. You, on the other hand, are hell-bent on destroying it in the name of the Guru, in the name of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and in the name of Sikhi. What about your cooked-up logic? Here is one member of the Wahir saying, if the Guru is on the floor, he should dig a hole and sit in it.
ਜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪੁੰਜੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਸਹੀ ਮਿੰਟ ਦੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਟੋਆ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਟੋਆ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਵਾ
The only holes you are digging are the ones to bury Sikhi. When asked what was the need to burn the chairs, benches and sofa, why not just give them away to others? Here is what he said.
ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਆ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਲੱਕੜ ਇੰਨੀ ਭ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਲੱਕੜ ਇੰਨੀ ਭ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਬਰਾਬਰ ਬੈਠੀ ਹੈ ਲੱਕੜ ਬੈਠੀ ਆ ਇੰਨੀ ਭ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਵੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅਗਰ ਭੇਂਟ ਹੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋ
That this wood has become so contaminated by sitting on par with the Guru that the only thing we can do with it is to burn it. Wood can become contaminated? Really? What about the wood that forms the roof or ceiling of the Gurdwaras? Wood that is not really on par with the Guru but located so much higher than the Guru. What do we do to such wood? Here is what the leader says to justify the burning.
ਇਹ ਕੁਰਸੀਆਂ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਢਣੀਆਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤਖਤ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਹਜ਼ੂਰੀ 'ਚ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਵਰਤਨਯੋਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਰੱਖਣਯੋਗ ਰਿਹਾ
Once a chair has been placed in the presence of the Guru, that chair is neither fit for use for anyone nor worth keeping. If someone has come prepared with a gang carrying cans of kerosene to burn it, what other response can we actually expect? Something needs to be said about the Karavapsi objective of Amartpal Singh and his Wahir. The stated goal of this Return Home campaign is to bring back into the Sikhi fold Sikhs who have left Sikhism for other religions, in particular Christianity. Seeing the lawlessness, violence and destruction at the two Gurdwaras, one wonders if how many of these elderly and disabled Sikhs would want to come back, and how many of those who become elderly and disabled in the future would want to come to a Gurdwara. How many of them would feel so much more welcome and loved in a mandir or a church. So much for this Karavapsi hogwash. Now, let's talk of the kursis or seats that we should be getting rid of. These are kursis of the powerful, the pradhans, the custodians of Gurdwara Golaks, the warlords at the takhats, the management committees who once allowed to sit on these kursis go by the maxim of till death do we part. These seeds of corruption are the ones that ought to be removed and burnt. Now, the million-dollar question is this: will the Waras Punjab De or Ass of Punjab, the so-called Wahir, and Amartpal Singh target these occupiers of these kursis of corruption? Well, the answer is obvious. The Sikh world celebrates the 150th anniversary of the Singh Sabha movement this year. So, it may be relevant to know that in the beginning of the 20th century, the Singh Sabha actually targeted those people occupying the seats of corrupted power and who ignored the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji totally. The result was that many Gurdwaras were cleansed of these power-hungry corrupt leaders, freed from the Nirmalas and Mahants. It is certainly time to begin a Singh Sabha movement 2.0. But this task cannot be done or given to a rebel-rouser political aspirant looking for populist but lawless situations. A majority of Sikhs are unaware of the real agendas behind the Wahir processions of Amritpal Singh into the villages of Punjab. Two events shine the spotlight on his real agendas. The first was at village Biharipur at Kapurthala, where there is a huge samad, meaning grave, inside the Gurdwara, where one of their Babas lies buried. This grave inside the Gurdwara went entirely unnoticed by Amritpal Singh and his gang when they went there. The second event was at Kalal Sangala Kapurthala, where a massive statue of their Baba, one Kandas, is worshipped right beside the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji where it stands, and where the langar of alcohol flows free for all. These also went unnoticed by Amritpal Singh and his Wahir. It is intriguing as to why not a single word, forget the actions, not a single word was uttered in Biharipur and at Kandas Gurdwara, where the samad, the grave, and the alcohol langar clearly are major transgressions of the Sikh Rehat Maryada and are acts of utter disrespect towards the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Now, the fact that explains it all is simply that the transgressions and disrespect to the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji in both these places were being committed by the wealthy, politically connected and powerful custodians of these two places. Hence, the pigeon kept its eyes shut and its mouth sealed. Gurbani tells us on page 1326, Apan swaye kare bo batan tinka visa kya kijay, meaning one who talks excessively but only to suit one's own interests. How can such a person be trusted? The message here is that those who speak with forked tongues based on self-interests or self-promoting agendas cannot be trusted. So, what can we do now? The SGPC folk have to speak up or let it be known that they are either accomplices or cowards. The authorities in Punjab have to apply the law on the lawless acts of these people or risk even more violence. Pracharaks, Ragis, Granthis, etc. will have to speak up and assure their sangats that there is no violation of Maryada, no issue of disrespect, that they can sit on chairs and benches because none of them are challenging the authority of the Guru in any such way. If you are a youth and watching what is going on, please know that one day you will become old and may become disabled. You need to speak out now and not when you are no longer able to. If a leader instigates you into agitations and protests in the name of respect of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, think calmly and rationally. You should never be part of a struggle in which the followers end up wasting their youth in cemeteries, hospitals, or jails, while the leaders obtain new passports from the same government they were protesting against, obtain visas for foreign countries, and move off to the US, Canada, Europe, etc. with their entire families to live their newfound lives. Go to Canada, Brampton specifically, if you want to meet the children and families of the people who led the previous violent agitations in Punjab. Gurdwara committees and sangats need to come together to stop these Talibani behaviors. Lodge police reports. Sue the political party for damage of property if you have to. The highest disrespect to the sangat is to storm a Gurdwara belonging to the sangat, destroy property that belonged to the sangat, and to deprive the sangat of their basic needs. And to do this while the sangat is listening to katha in the darbar is the highest disrespect to the Guru. This is what we call disrespect under the pretext of respect. In 2017, 5 disabled Sikhs took the management committee of the largest Gurdwara in Wolverhampton, UK, for discrimination when, as disabled Sikhs, they were forced to sit behind screens in the Darbar Sahib. One of the 5 disabled claimants, Bhupinder Kaur Chauhan, said, 50 years ago, Sikhs were fighting for the right to wear turbans in public in this country. Here we are in 2017 fighting for the right to attend the Gurdwara as disabled persons without being hidden away and forced to sit like zoo animals behind partitions. We have just the same right to worship and pray as everyone else. We should not be made to feel inferior. In that case, the court ordered the Gurdwara to remove all of the screens as well as all the signage which prohibited the use of chairs and wheelchairs. Pyareo, it does not have to come to the point that the elderly and disabled have to go to court to make the point that disabled people are not second-class citizens and that they deserve the same right to attend and participate in Gurdwaras as everyone else. Gurbani, Gurmat and Sikhi already accords such rights to us. The problem is not with Sikhi principles, but with people with agendas who want to twist it all to serve themselves. The problem is people whose model is the nuisance of Talibani politics, lawlessness and hooliganism, and they wish to climb the ladder of political fame through such ugly methods. There is a need to call out such people and to stand up for what is right. Thank you.